Hello everyone, it's your girl, the Melanated Minimalist, coming to you live in my pre-love SUV. Shout out to everyone who's been coming and checking out my videos. I am trying not to slow down, very hard to try to balance sometimes, but I'm going to keep on making these videos and I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep helping you to celebrate living simple and living below your means, technically. Okay, first of all, if you're new to my channel, hello, konnichiwa, welcome, hola, shalom, everything. Let me explain. If you are interested in living a simple life and you are a woman, especially a melanated woman, this is the channel for you. I have shared on so many countless videos, and you'll see them if you scroll through my library, the library of my videos. You'll see that I made several on living below your means, economic terms, all that. Am I where I want to be financially? By no means. Am I warning or encouraging people to live below their means? By yes. Okay, so if this channel may be for you, go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mama's friends, tell everyone, tell your daddy's friends. Okay, so I'm gonna get right into it. Why I've decided to practice the Dave Ramsey baby steps. After many years of debating back and forth, financial peace was introduced to me probably in my mid-20s. I was at my job when I was working, sort of like a drug probation officer, a person who's got in trouble for drugs. They went to a program that I was a part of. I was what they call a task officer or a probation officer for people who got in trouble dealing with drugs, whether they used it or tried to sell it or whatever is involved. That's neither here nor there. I'm just sharing with you the reason why I was introduced to the financial peace. So I had a friend, and as I'm sitting here, that's why it came to me. My friend Linda out of is it Chalawuka? Whatever, it's Mississippi. But she was from Mississippi, and she was going through, at that time, a divorce. But she had talked about financial peace, about paying off her debt and paying off her house, all that. And I was young. I was in my mid-20s, early 20s, and people were giving me financial advice left and right. I had Sandra Finney, just amazing. I don't know where she is right now. I had Lois. I had so many different people, women of color and women of non-color, give me direction. I was involved in a stock club. Yeah, I was involved in a stock club called Sankofa, which I created. All this came from getting advice. And during this time, I did not know what was sinking in and what wasn't. I ended up buying my first house at 24. My husband, myself, my former husband and I. And our second house right at 30, I think. The point I'm trying to make is all that financial advice was not in vain. I didn't learn in vain from my grandparents who paid cash for a lot of things, owned land, owned their own home, had their own cars, purchased me several cars. And what I'm saying to you is my grandparents never had a high school diploma, the first. My grandfather was illiterate. And the fact that the money things they taught me would make me, a debt-free woman. Right now, I am standing at the debt of this car that was about $10,799. And then you include your taxes, all that stuff. And this was a discount on it. Everything, they dropped the price, everything. I would say, I think my finance is $12,298, right? So, they gave me 36 months. They gave me a higher interest rate because my credit score came in at 611. Also, the feds have raised interest rate of used cars. So, shout out to the Navy Federal Credit Union who still gave me a chance anyway to purchase this car. The interest rate is a little higher than I wanted it to be. Y'all ain't gonna lie. But you know what your girl gonna do? She's gonna work more, double up, and pay off this debt. So, that's that. And then I got about $7,000 in credit card debt, give or take. And I'm paying off, I'm doing a snowball effect through Dave Ramsey. So back to the Dave Ramsey method of me becoming a millionaire, a baby step millionaire. I fought it for a while because I was chasing a dream of being in the MLM industry, getting that right product that would really push me to the level of a millionaire or at least six figures. I did that for 10 years. I left my full-time career in 2013 as a case manager, working in a high school for a nonprofit. I made a decent salary for what I was doing, meaning that I was in the situation where life was comfortable. I wasn't hurting. I wasn't doing anything. At that time, I had been divorced in 2009, and I was dating someone who was way below my means, but we're going to go there. He taught me some things and I taught him some things, but at the end, we're not good for one another. Point blank, period. And if you ever hear me talking, I always talk about being in alignment with the Lord, and I still stand on it. And when I'm out of alignment, I always crash and burn. Sort of like how I got into this small town. And it has been a blessing. But at first I was like, oh, I feel like a failure at 50 plus years old. Well, there are people who are over the age of 50 plus who are in major problems going on in their life. So I said all that to say that you too can learn the Dave Ramsey baby steps philosophy. So let me explain. I'll briefly give you some information, and you'll see me talk about it throughout this time while I'm going through like a series of it. But let me explain. The first thing he asks that you do is put at least $1,000 aside for emergencies. Now, the reason why it's $1,000 aside for emergencies, so that if something really go down, like your car repair or your tires, probably not your roof on your house, but just some of the minor things that can come up, a situation, $1,000 usually can cover it or get close to it. If you needed groceries, you needed gas for your car, you got $1,000. That's like emergency, okay? So that's the minimum. I mean, meaning that's just the intro. You should make, save 3 to 6 months of your total expenses per month. But right now, $1,000 your first baby step. Number 2, pay off debt, credit card debt, car loans, things of that nature. Good snowball effect. You go from the smallest. This is his philosophy. You go from the smallest credit card or debt, and you push it all the way till you get all of them paid off. Once you finish paying those off, step number 3 is to start doing investments in your retirement. 15% of your income. And that could be first go through your 401k if you're with a job. 401k, your company may match at 3%. Different companies match at, some companies match at 100%. It just depends on who you're working for, whether you're working for a nonprofit, a government agency, any of those. It just depends. So you want to do that. And then he even gives you steps of what to invest in, meaning that he's not telling you exactly what is that, but just where to put your money to make it grow, okay? Then he said, if that doesn't max you out, go to your Roth IRA, and then the last is your traditional IRA. So those are the things you can do, step 1, step 2, and step 3. Step 4 is to pay off your house. I don't have a house right now. And I also, I can't remember 4 or 5, but 5 was about, saving for your children's college. I can't remember how it goes, but I don't have little children. My children are grown. However, I do have a grandson, and I do want to put money aside for my grandchildren so that they can make decisions whether go to college, get a vocational trade, anything they want to do, as long as it's not frivolous and it's just not going to put them in the poorhouse. My goal is for them to make an income where they're not in debt, they're not taking out loans, even if they have to go to community colleges, whatever they got to do. I don't want them to have any debt. My children, I am guilty of this. I did prep them. I told them to go to community college. Actually, the oldest one didn't want to go to school. The youngest one waited, and then we did put her in community college, a 2-year college program. I didn't have all the money, so I was going through a major depression. I'm not here to make an excuse. I'm just trying to say, I told her not to take out a lot of debt. So she didn't. She's got to pay off a few things. And I told her if she wants to go back and get credentials or certifications, she could do so, and I would help pay for them. I definitely would. And her father will agree that too, my former husband. But that's up to her. Now she's 20 plus. My other daughter is just turned 30. They have decisions they have to make for themselves, and not me making decisions for them. So that's it. My oldest one ended up going back to school, trying to obtain a psychology degree. She wants to be PhD level, I believe, and become a doctor of psychology. But like I shared, these are my children's dreams now at 20 something, late 20s. And now all I am here at this point is when they do decide to purchase a home, and I do encourage them, and you can ask them, I encourage them to purchase some form of property. I don't care if it's a condo, a townhome, a small home, a tiny home, a mobile home. No, okay, mobile home is fine as long as they have the land and they can build a big house on it. I don't care. I just want them to own land or own some form of real estate. And that's one of the things I preach. So if it means that once I get all my things secured and they need additional money and I have that money, for them, I put aside. I'm going to give them money to help support their dream of on real estate. My mother helped me, and my grandparents had passed away. My mother put money aside and gave my former husband and me money to put for a down payment for a house. So I say to y'all, if you got it like that and your children are needing it, make sure you take care of them. If my kids are grown, like I said, I don't have little kids. I don't have to save for college. If I choose to put money, I am going to help my grandson whatever way I can, and my daughter, whatever. If I have grandchildren, everybody going to get a little something, something. So we didn't talk about life insurance, but we'll talk about that. And Dave does recommend term life insurance. I was a part of his term life insurance program. I did drop it. Shame on me. I'm going back to it. I'm going to get my term again. I'm going to have term through AARP. The Navy Federal Credit Union has a accident and disability one. I'm going to take out small policies for my children, meaning that if something happened to me, that we're taking care of it. I may take out a couple policies on my children in case something happened to them, and we got to take care of things. I'm saying all this to say that I'm not going to live a life of just wishing, hoping, praying I make money. You got to be intentional about it. So as a minimalist, y'all go check out my podcast too. I do have it on all Spotify, Apple, shameless plug, Camcast. It's so many different ones, but Anchor. Go check me out. I'm talking over there too. So it's different things I'm talking about. But I had to, go explore the Dave Ramsey baby steps to a millionaire. But once you get all those things done, you got your retirement going, then you too can start, investing more on the outside of that, and generously giving. He said that's what you can feel good about giving, because you've done all that you're supposed to do for your personal financing. Okay. And then those baby steps within 10 years, if you pay off, he's talking if you paid off your house. I don't own one, but I'm going to. And all that is done, then you should be a millionaire at that point once everything's paid off. The whole goal is not to be in debt. Debt makes you feel incredibly ill at points. When you think about, I got to pay this, I got to pay that, you get real low. You get real low. You start to think, am I ever going to make it past a certain way in my life? Because you put yourself in a situation. Don't dread. Go check out Dave Ramsey baby steps. Some people are going to argue with it. The only thing that we disagree, me and Dave, and I get what he's saying, and living on a dime to become rich. Tara and her mother both said the same thing. Credit cards are for emergencies, but don't get crazy. And I think Tara from that podcast or YouTube channel said, it's all about when you decide how you plan to live, how you want to live. Oh gosh, I don't know what's going on with, I can't see. Okay. I don't know what happened, but my coloration changed. Okay. And how you want to live and everything. And I think that a lot of times it's because, you take your credit cards and you just blow them. And I did that when I was buying things. I got excited. But now I'm like, with my real, your mind said, wait a minute, did I just put all this money into this? So you go back and I was able to pay off some debt from one of those buy now, pay later stuff. That's like a credit card too, y'all. It does affect your credit report. It did ding me when I wasn't working for a few months. Hey, it is what it is. I paid that off. The next thing I'm paying off of Bank of America, and then from Bank of America, it's another credit card, another credit. All of them are not piling, but I'm going to snowball affect them. But again, don't use your credit cards for crazy and frivolous stuff. Use it for emergencies. I did have emergency. I did buy this car. It's an older car. It did have a alternator issue. Had to get the alternator replaced. Had to pay for the repair. But due to the fact that someone knew someone, the repair that normally would have been almost $1,000, whatever, give or take, was only about $400. So I saved $500 to $600. So I'm blessed on that. Then while they were looking at one thing, they saw that I had a cracked radiator. It's not a big issue now, but he said preventive is the best thing. So I did charge the radiator, and I paid like $90 cash for the difference. So I did put money in so that I could prevent anything happening. And what he saw was things that could be preventable. And when a car is older, but it's a decent quality car, you go ahead and pay the money you need to pay and take care of your business, and do not worry about all that stuff. So again, I'm grateful for knowing people who know people, and that's just where I'm at. Okay. So like Dave Ramsey said, to pay off this debt, you might have to work extra jobs. He said you might have to have 6 jobs. You might have to eat beans and rice. He said, I don't care if you eat beans and rice and beans, whatever you got to do to shrink that money, you do it. That means you're not going out frivolously buying stuff. I go to thrift stores to purchase clothes, okay? Point blank, period. I bought a couple things that I thought I would need on my journey if I decide to do the van life, SUV life for a few months. And Dave Ramsey didn't talk about that, but he always makes a joke down living in a van down by the river. I'm not gonna live down by the river forever, and I'm nearly not gonna live down by the river. I'm actually gonna be more of the elite camper, glam camper. I'm gonna have a membership with Planet Fitness. I am going to have a storage that allows me to have my clothes laid out. I'm gonna have an ironing board. I'm not gonna look crazy, but I do have a plan to get out of this debt, and I do not like debt. I just figured I don't. Even the person I was seeing less than 6 months ago had just purchased a house for $250,000. And I told that person at the age that they were, that was too much money for a house. I told them they should have got a condo. I said, if I were you, I would have paid it down to the point where it's hardly anything. I would have paid it off, and I would have never got a 30-year FHA. I would have got a 15-year loan. But you know what? I can't tell people something, but that's probably why it's a lot of things why we're not together. Alignment with God's one. But that's another story time. Y'all probably already heard it. Be careful who you date. That may lead to marriage if you're not already married. And if you are married, make sure you and your husband are on board with getting out of debt. Don't deal with people who like debt. Deal with somebody who likes to pay cash for their cars. Deal with somebody who's very, very, very intentional about their money. They don't like to just spend money. They ask the right questions. I just pray that I have that person who comes in my life. However, I want them to be in alignment with God. Okay, so we're going to talk about that later. But yeah, baby steps for Dave Ramsey. I just gave y'all the steps. I think 1 through 5 or 1 through 7. I can't remember. But y'all heard it, right? Y'all heard most of it. Number 1, $1,000 emergency. That's just the beginning. Then you're eventually going to have to do a 3 to 6 month of all your expenses in the baby steps. But number 1, save $1,000 emergency fund. I'm almost there. I was there. I had to take care of some stuff, but I was there, and I could pay it. I could get that back up within 30 days. He said within 30 days you have $1,000, right? Number 2, these are top 3 ones. Pay off all your debt. Go ahead and hit them credit cards. Go ahead and hit that car. Knock it off by snowball affecting it. Number 3, if you have a home, I guess he said to pay out. Well, I think that was a part of it. I think the 3rd one was paying off your house. I don't have my notes in front of me, so please forgive me. But go check out Dave Ramsey's show and type in Dave Ramsey baby steps. I guarantee you it's going to pop up, okay? But I just wanted to give y'all an alert to say, stay out of debt. I know people say debt is good. Depends on who you're talking to. And most people saying that are super millionaires, y'all. Multi-millionaires. And yes, they disperse their debt, but I guarantee you they're not hungry. And I guarantee you, they're not walking around looking like they're having some issues with money. Always look at the person who's delivering the message versus the person who's hearing the message. The deliverer is this. You see your girl right here in a pre-loved car because she listened to Dave Ramsey. She listened to Pocket Watch with JT. She listened to Tara from Living on a Dime to Become Rich. She listened to Erica with the Classic Climber. She listened to CEO, CEO, I can't remember her name right now. Oh my God, Kimberly from the CEO Driver. All those people, and I could go on and on and on with some more people. Even Timothy Ward, a minimalist. Definitely learn a lot from just many of them who have lived below their means and have been successful. And yeah, I'm at 53. It's not over yet. Like Dave Ramsey said, if you make it to 60 and you're pretty healthy, you're going to live a long time. So you better put your money, make your money work for you and don't get crazy, okay? Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Please go over to my podcast, The Millionaire Minimalist, on all the podcast stations. And you know your girl always going to drop that knowledge as much as I can. Love you guys. Peace.